It had been a stormy day. Katie discovered that when you walk in the snow, it makes a perfect print of your boot. Orbie found out that some snow is good for making snowmen and some snow just isn't. And they both learned that sometimes snowflakes even get stuck on your eyelashes. It had snowed all night and Mom and Dad were looking out the window. There was so much snow that you couldn't tell where the yard ended and the road began. Dad told Katie and Orbie that this was just the beginning. They were having a very big snowstorm, and soon there would be even more snow than they wanted. Well, Katie and Orbie couldn't imagine ever not wanting snow. Dad told them that he wasn't going to go to work because the driving could get dangerous, as it sometimes does in really heavy snowfalls. Instead, he told the friends it would be their job to help get the snow off the driveway and the walk. Mom thought that was a fine idea and decided to join in the fun, so the whole family headed out into the snowy day. As they stood outside the front door, Dad asked them all to look down and see if they noticed anything different about the steps. Everybody looked, but only Katie noticed that 1.5 steps were missing. Dad told them that they weren't actually gone, they were buried underneath the snow. Orbie jumped off the porch into the snow. It came up to the top of his legs. Mom was surprised, but Orbie just loved it. He whooped and jumped all over the snow. And he wasn't alone. Katie joined him. They threw snow up in the air, making a snow spray. The yard looked like a fairy forest. The trees were covered in snow. Katie and Orbie went over to touch one of the low boughs. When they got there, Katie noticed a broken twig on the top of the snow and bent over to pick it up. Orbie shook the branch above her, and a load of snow fell kerplop on the top of Katie. Katie felt cool snow trickling down her back. She picked up a mittful of snow and chased Orbie around the yard. There was a lot of hooting and hollering, and finally Katie caught up, and she threw the snow. It stuck to Orbie's hat. Mom started to shovel the snow away from the stairs. Dad worked in the driveway. It wasn't too long before Katie went over to help. Orbie hurried to Mom, who had already cleared off the bottom step. As the family was working on moving the snow, Yi Ping shouted over that this was the greatest day. Her dad wasn't so sure. It was too stormy for the planes to fly, and he was supposed to be on a business trip. He had to stay home. Yi Ping giggled and threw snow at him. He picked her up and dropped her into a snowbank. Yi Ping's dad had been digging for a long time, and he wasn't getting too far. That's when everybody had a good idea. They would all work together. As soon as everybody started shoveling together, there was a loud rumble. At first it sounded like thunder, but it didn't stop. It got louder and louder. Katie, Orbie, and Yi Ping realized it was a machine. Soon a stranger moved into the driveway. The three friends were a little frightened, so they jumped up into the snowbank. Dad said, "Hi, Tom," and the friends realized it was nothing scary. They hurried to Tom. Yi Ping's dad told them to stop. He had to shout because the machine was making so much noise. The three friends stopped right away. He explained to them that what Tom had was a snowblower, and it had big rotating blades on the front of it. It was important to stay away from people with snowblowers because they couldn't hear if you were near. Orbie wondered how the snowblower blew the snow, and Tom told him he would give a demonstration. He headed for a part of the driveway that wasn't shoveled yet. When the snowblower found the snow, it picked it up with its blades and threw it far away. Everybody dug out the paths up to their houses. And Tom and Yi Ping's dad and Katie's dad all took turns using the blower. Soon, all the driveways were done. Katie wondered if Mrs. Perrette would be finished her driveway yet. Everybody looked at Katie and smiled. They headed down the street. Katie, Yi Ping, and Orbie raced ahead to tell Mrs. Perrette that they were coming to help. When they got there, Mrs. Perrette was looking out her front window, and to tell you the truth, she looked a little worried. When you are older, sometimes it's difficult to shovel. Snow can be very heavy. The three friends shouted and waved to her as they waded through the snow up to her front door. "We're coming to help," Katie said. Mrs. Perrette thanked them. She told them that it was too deep for her. As the two families and Tom rounded the end of her driveway, she smiled happily. She was lucky to have such nice neighbors. And just then, there was another rumbling sound. Tom had turned off the snowblower to tighten up his scarf. Katie and Orbie ran out to the buried sidewalk to see what was coming. Dad hurried after them and told them it was a snowplow, and there was one very important thing to remember about snowplows. They are very dangerous. The driver can't always see small children. The moment they saw a plow coming, they were to run up to the front steps and wait there until it passed. The children watched from the steps as the snowplow pushed all the snow off the road. It tumbled in front of the plow and made its way over to the side of the road. When the plow was gone, the three friends wanted to play on the snowbank. Mom said it was only safe to play on the house side, not on the road side. Katie discovered that you could slide right down the snowbank without a toboggan. Orbie began to dig, and as he did, he realized that he could make a couch and a table and a bed in the snow. It was like a little fort with high walls. Yi Ping dug out the front door so you could walk in and out. When they were all done, Mrs. Perrette invited them in to warm up. She told them that she may have been a bit too old to shovel snow, but she certainly wasn't too old to make a wonderful lunch for everybody. And she was right. I hope you get to see a wonderful snowfall one day. And when you do, you remember to play safely. And I hope that you also remember to try catching snowflakes on the end of your eyelashes, being dropped into snowbanks and shaking a few branches. Because I happen to know that if you ever get that chance, you are just going to love it.
Did you know? No. Did you know? Did you know? Did you know?
Cameras take a picture of what you look like on the outside. But a special machine called an X-ray takes a picture of what you look like on the inside. Not all your gooey guts and stuff. Just your bones. Isn't that amazing?